So we got Harry Styles.
Oh. Ooh.
Is this a queer baiter or is this genuine self-expression?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of BFTV the series. I know I haven't done one of these videos in quite a while, but today I wanted to do a deep dive into the topic of queerbaiting. The term queerbaiting refers to the marketing technique in entertainment of implying same-sex romance to engage or attract an LGBTQ audience or otherwise generate interest without ever actually depicting such relationships or sexual attractions. We see it often when a celebrity or a public figure capitalizes on the suspicion that they may be gay for the sake of publicity, promotion, or capitalistic gain. Although the idea of queerbaiting has been a thing for decades, the term wasn't really used until the late 2010s. One example of queerbaiting that we see often is straight men dressed in women's wear to appear edgy or as a publicity stunt. This is not to say that some men aren't genuinely expressing themselves or in touch with their feminine side, but when it comes from certain people, it does make you wonder. Another example is famous women pretending or hinting at being bisexual for male satisfaction or to impress queer folks. Some people may not see the issue, but hinting at sexual ambiguity as a marketing scheme is seen as erasure of LGBTQ identities as queer folks continue to fight for representation. Now, I'm a straight woman and it wouldn't be 100% appropriate for me to lead this conversation. So I asked my queer followers to share some examples of queerbaiting in entertainment, and you guys sent me so many examples. I will be doing 2 videos on this topic, starting with this one obviously, where I'll be asking some of my queer friends their opinions on some of the examples you guys sent me. And in the next video, I will be asking some of my bisexual friends their opinions on famous women pretending to be bisexual solely to garner attention. So make sure you guys are subscribed and click the notification bell so that you'll be the first to see that video. But before we get into the topic, I just want to let you guys know that this video is a fundraiser for a Black-led LGBTQ+ organization. The Center of Black Equity is dedicated to improving the lives of Black LGBTQ communities through economic equity, health equity, and social equity. And if you believe that all Black lives matter, which include Black, queer, and trans folks, please hit the donation button below and donate what you can. Now let's get into the video.
Hey, I'm Shannon. I'm a writer and podcaster living in Houston, Texas. You can find me at the Six Side Film Club podcast and Venus FM podcast. And my pronouns are she, they, and my Instagram is @PrickWolf.
Hi, I'm Dominique. I am a DJ, model, and podcaster as well from Houston, Texas. I identify, I guess, as non-binary, and I go by he, him pronouns. And you can find me on Instagram at Celestial Millennial, but you can also find our podcast at Six Side Film Club.
Hi, I'm Stu, pronouns they, she. I'm an actor and a musician, and you can follow me at Stuism, STOOIZM.
When you think about a queer icon, who comes to mind?
Marsha P. Johnson, first of all.
Yeah.
Dominique Jackson, MJ Rodriguez, Angelica Ross,
Oh, yes.
Frank Ocean, Mickey Blanco, Lil Nas X. Those are some of mine.
Grace Jones.
Yeah, Billy Porter. Oh my gosh, you know how many gays love Janet?
Brittany Mom.
Like when you meet like a Janet gay, it's a totally different thing. A Mariah Carey gay,
Yes.
even more.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that there's more cis hetero icons that we as queer people align with more than like actual queer people as icons.
I think that there is a lot of erasure of queer icons. I think that sometimes it is more acceptable for lesbians or bi women to have some representation, mostly because it like appeases to like the male gaze.
Yeah.
But there's definitely always a hard erasure of the content of gay and trans icons.
A lot of times we celebrate cis hetero men, specifically white men, who break gender norms or who try to end toxic masculinity, when we have actual queer people who are doing the same things better, more authentic, and they're not getting the same praise. Troye Sivan is a good one. Like, he is a queer pop artist,
and he's amazing.
Yeah, and he wears dresses in his videos, and he's actually queer. Do we ever? Well, we talk about it. Does the public ever talk about it? Like, it doesn't seem like he gets the representation. Same with like Sam Smith is another example. Frank Ocean is another example. We talk about breaking, gender norms and ending toxic masculinity. Those are things that queer artists have been doing, are doing, but like we're focusing on cis hetero men.
Yeah. It's interesting mainly because, yes, they're allowed to play those roles, but there are queer people who live these experiences that could play those roles more effective. Again, like, more cis hetero people get the jobs over queer people all the time because they feel like a queer artist isn't flexible or versatile enough as much as a straight actor is. It's just so like invalidating and sometimes damaging for queer artists not given those opportunities.
That's why I love the show Pose so much, and I'm still so sad that it's over, because that was the most Black queer representation that I think that we've had in either a long time or just like period. Because it's like, not only do we have Black queer actors like portraying Black queer people, but we have trans women portraying trans women,
like,
and
their
it's
journeys.
like, and we're not just being shown in like these
and working behind the set, right? Janet Mock.
So to kick off the list of names that I saw often, I wanted to ask their opinion on one of the most obvious examples of queer baiting. TikTok star Noah Beck was praised for dismantling toxic masculinity by doing a photo shoot wearing makeup and heels. However, Noah's been accused in the past of being homophobic on a few occasions. Noah also liked a tweet that read, "The LGBT community is annoying as fuck."
Queer baiting and also homoerotic.
Well, then that's the definition of queer baiting.
He just reminds me of a high school bully who picks on queer kids, but then acts gay for attention and does gay stuff for attention. So he's gonna get the queer bait from me.
If he can do his makeup by himself, nobody else does it for him, then he can pass.
Next, we have Prince. I don't really need to do a whole introduction on Prince because I think we're all familiar with his flamboyant style and sex appeal. People didn't really question if Prince's style was just for publicity, but I wanted to add him to the list just for comparison.
Badass.
It's so difficult because I never saw him as queer baiting. I just saw him as just fluid, dressing the way he wanted to dress. And I do feel like we do need to allow like more straight men to present feminine as well, because feminist straight men should exist.
And do exist.
Yeah, so I feel like those conversations about him is hard because this is still not allowed for straight men to do.
This is genuine to me.
Yeah.
This is not queer baiting, this is genuine drip. I feel like...
genuine, yes. Okay, cool.
Because he's out here in a time where it was dangerous to dress like this, and he was pioneering it. That's just from him.
Honestly, growing up, looking up to Prince as like one of my idols, it gave me so much freedom to express myself in different ways that I wasn't like already expressing myself. So when I discovered Prince and discovered that like he was this like straight man who was able to express himself in the way that he wanted to and still pull the baddest bitches.
And still take your bitch.
Like, I was like, this is inspiring. Like, this
take
is
you
cool.
too,
I was like, if he can be whoever he wants to be and like that be okay, well then I can be whoever I want to be and that's okay.
Will and Jada have always been very open about their parenting style and allowing their kids, Willow and Jaden, to express themselves however they see fit. Jada and Willow have actually spoken about being open to the possibility of dating other women. Jaden Smith has been praised for gender fluidity, but people also questioned his intentions when he claimed that Tyler the Creator was his boyfriend, when both have publicly presented themselves as straight men.
And I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you, Tyler doesn't want to say But Tyler's my motherfucking boyfriend. And he's been my motherfucking boyfriend my whole fucking life. Tyler, the creator, is my fucking boyfriend. It's true.
I think it's genuine.
I think it's genuine based off his family and how they raised both him and Willow.
I don't know this young man personally. I think the Smiths try to like give us a brand of hippie and carefree. So it makes sense that he's trying out things.
I think it's authentic. I think him and Tyler, I think they were kind of just like playing around, and like I think like Jaden probably genuinely has like a boy crush. Like I think the same way that straight girls are allowed to have girl crushes, I think guys should be able to have like guy crushes.
So here we have the legendary NBA Bulls player Dennis Rodman, who was an outcast for the rest of the NBA players during his time. Dennis became known for his unique self-expression on and off the court. Although he dated some of the most famous and hottest women throughout the 90s, people still questioned his sexuality. But Dennis always maintained that he is straight, so I had to ask them whether they thought Dennis Rodman's style was just a gimmick or genuine self-expression.
Oh,
hi Dennis.
Oh yes. Your muse.
Yeah, that's my father right there.
I don't think he's actually, he doesn't actually read as queer to me. I think just a flamboyant person. I think it's more about clothes than sexuality.
Because he can also steal your girl.
And probably has.
Yeah. Has he ever been rumored to be with men? I don't know his career that well.
We will get into that in a little bit.
That don't mean that I'm gay.
Okay, that's the next question coming up here.
No, I'm not gay.
You're not gay?
No.
Now, you did say earlier that when you were a little boy, we're looking at that little picture of your little ear spread on there, that you were worried about your own sense of sexuality, growing up in a house with all females.
I think that's a true statement on my part, because I was very scared to be around guys and boys, little boys, and I didn't know how I would fit in because I was so shy and to myself. So.
But you are not gay. You're saying to me you are not gay.
No,
and if you were gay, I believe you would tell me.
I think so.
I think so. So, are you bisexual?
No.
You're not bisexual?
No.
You do say you don't have to applaud or not applaud. Okay, you do say in this book, you say that maybe in your mind you are.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
I can float with the idea.
You can float with the idea.
I can float with it however you want to look at it. I can do anything I want up here. That means I'm gonna go out and act and do it. I think a lot of people can say to you, a lot of people say, well, I can never be with a man. A lot of guys will say, I can never be with a man.
Yeah.
How can you say that you thought about it? Or you just say,
you think all men have thought about it?
Of course. I mean, if you sit up there, if I ask one of these guys here, you like to be with a man? No, that's just disgusting. That's just disgusting. How do you know it's disgusting? How do you know it's disgusting? You don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying to go out there and try it, but I'm just saying that you don't know.
Okay, so Dennis, I mean, the obvious question is, and I have to ask it because you just laid the door open. So have you been with a man?
No.
You have not been with a man?
No.
You wrote all of this, you flirted with it, you think about it, you think you might be in your mind, and yet you say, too, that men and women are offering themselves to you all the time.
Yeah.
He says that. When I tell you, boom, honey, boom.
Yeah.
Men and women are offering themselves to you all the time, and yet you still haven't.
No, I haven't. I can't lie to say I haven't kissed a man on the lips.
It's so invasive.
Just kept precious.
So invasive.
Yeah, that was old Oprah.
Are you gay?
I just gonna say it was just like Prince. Growing up, I got called Dennis Rodman all the time because I had colored hair and I had piercings and I dressed like this, and I just thought it was so cool that he was a basketball player that people looked up to, but also he was kind of a freak, and he dressed how he dressed and he looked how he looked, and he was just like, this is me, you take it or you leave it. Authentic for me. He's the authentic vibe.
Yeah, he's just freer than everyone else.
Next on the list, we have Puerto Rican rapper / singer Bad Bunny, who uses queer aesthetics in his artistry. In an interview with Rolling Stone, he said, "I've always felt like there was a part of me that is very feminine, but I never felt as masculine as I did the day I dressed up like a drag queen." End quote. Bad Bunny has also always openly supported LGBT rights, and during a performance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon in February 2020, he paid tribute to Alexa Negron Luciano, a transgender woman who was murdered in Puerto Rico for using the women's bathroom.
Genuine.
Yeah, I think he's being genuine.
I think he's being genuine too.
Yeah, he's just using his art to amplify those voices the best way he can.
I think more straight artists should use their platform to, speak out on these things, because at the end of the day, it's not like transgendered rights or human rights, or gay rights, it's human rights.
Then we have Billie Eilish, whose sexuality has been questioned before. She was accused of queerbaiting when she posted a set of photos from her music video with a caption that read, "I love girls," which had people believing that she was coming out as a member of the LGBTQ community. She was accused of using the speculation surrounding her sexuality to promote her single.
And she knew what she was doing by saying, "I like girls."
Yeah.
I like girls too, but girl, I'm not gonna put that caption on this video. Like, I know what that means. I know what that's doing. She's a smart girl. Yeah, great songs. I like some of the Billie songs. I like some of the Eyelash songs.
She's very talented.
No, I like her music.
Very
I do fuck with her
talented.
music. But that was a classic case of queer baiting, definitely.
Yeah, I think that her previous, how she was dressing before this video, I guess, and how she still dresses is not queer baiting. Like, she's not trying to appear queer when she's wearing the big clothes. That was a body thing. But definitely this video is trying to allure. Yeah, but it's like, she could be bi. She could be bi
That's
and
true.
like not
That's true.
brave enough to date women yet. Like, sexuality is complicated, but this is definitely, it seems like, gay for profit.
I'm waiting to see how this develops. I can't really make a full-on decision. I'm very neutral on this one right now.
Next, we have one of the most controversial names on the list, and I saw this name appear so many times when I asked you guys. Harry Styles has become the face of gender fluidity. White women have been crediting him for breaking barriers and inventing the mixture of androgyny and music, although queer folks and other icons have been doing this for decades. Although he was very popular amongst teen girls during his time in One Direction, his use of queer aesthetics helped his solo career reach the masses. Harry has also never really addressed questions about his sexuality, nor does he owe the world an answer. But the bisexual label has been forced on him by his fans, who use the term to defend his self-expression against queer-baiting accusations. On the topic, he says, "Am I sprinkling in nuggets of sexual ambiguity to try to be more interesting? No. In terms of how I want to dress and what the album sleeve's gonna be, I tend to make decisions in terms of collaborators I want to work with. I want things to look a certain way. Not because it makes me look gay, or it makes me look straight, or it makes me look bisexual, but because I think it looks cool. And more than that, I don't know. I just think sexuality is something that's fun. Honestly, I can't say I've given it any more thought than that." He also said, "It's not like I'm sitting on an answer and protecting it and holding it back. It's not a case of, I'm not telling you cause I don't want to tell you. It's not, oh, this is mine and it's not yours. It's, who cares? Does that make sense? It's just, who cares?" End quote. People have also pointed out the fact that outside of his professional life, he dresses like a regular, straight, cis man and usually dates conventionally attractive, skinny white women.
So, I'm not a directioner, but I do know that him and other members of the band used to like pretend to kiss or whatever. It would like drive all the little teen girls crazy. That's an example of queer baiting, definitely. Harry Styles is trying to emulate Elton John, who is an actual gay man. I think he's having fun in his career. He's definitely consistent with this type of style, so maybe it is something he always wanted to explore.
Yeah.
But I still think it's kind of for profit, you know? I think it's like a look that he's creating and not necessarily a community that he's from.
Or communities uplifting within his work.
Yes.
Because I feel if you do post those images, at least add in, support these people as well.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily see him as like a queer baiter. I don't know if he's necessarily pushing the narrative that he's like breaking gender stereotypes or ending toxic masculinity by wearing a dress and, posing for editorials. I think that a lot of that is just like the media kind of pushing that narrative.
He's rich. He's one of the most well-known pop stars out.
Right.
So why not go above and beyond and try out new things?
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of opening certain doors, even though, just like you said, Elton John, he's kind of like a baby Elton John, and like nothing that he's doing is necessarily anything new or groundbreaking, because it's definitely been done before. But I think Harry Styles is an icon for a certain age group, for a certain generation. And I feel like time will tell whether it's genuine or not. I think as the years go on and his career progresses, I think we'll see if it's something that was just like a fad for him or something that he continues to do, you know, throughout his career.
Last but certainly not least, I wanted to highlight David Bowie, who changed the face of music with his fluidity and openly being queer during a time when it was taboo.
I love David Bowie.
Yeah, I do too. And David identifies as bisexual.
Again, genuine drip, how they wanted to express
And
themselves.
also,
Yeah, pulling the baddest bitches.
Yeah.
and also he was an actor too, so this was a character he saw, he wanted to play. He wanted to play a queer rock star.
Mother of the girls.
Yes. All of us.
All of us. We're descendants of the
Body,
Bowie.
body, body.
I just feel like we're just in a space where we just need to push and amplify more queer voices, because obviously they have influenced a lot of these people on this slide we watch, and it kind of goes to show that we're still needing to do that. Like, yes, it's great that they're doing it, self-expressing they're expressing themselves and showing like the queer people exist, but we also need to exist in the forefront as well, instead of just an inspo or something on their Pinterest board.
I think queer people should be allowed to tell their own stories more. I want to see more happy ending stories than
Yes, no
sad
more
ending
queer trauma.
stories. I know we're talking about queer people playing themselves. I think that trans people should be allowed to play themselves. I'm thinking about the movie Hilary Swank was in,
Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry, but she won so many awards for that, and people should be allowed to play themselves and get the same kind of recognition for their career, for their own backgrounds.
And to quote Issa Rae, I'm rooting for everybody black, but I'm also rooting for everybody queer. So I want to see more stories about queer black people, specifically black men, black non-binary people, because I think we highlight a lot of the same folks within our own community. I'm not going to specifically say what kind of folk, but I think we highlight the same type of person over and over again. And there's so much diversity within our community that I think that like more stories need to be told.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing a pretty good job of finally starting to tell those stories, but I think we have a very long way to go. So
our generation has the information to push these stories forward now, and I'm so excited. And we are all here because we're all a part of the future.
yes.
Period. Poop.
Yes, we're here, we're queer, and we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere, baby.
Top Blue Ivy verses.
Literally. Oh my God, we really could do that.
Her hollering on that, the song in Paris.
Yeah, I loved her performance in Jennifer's Body. I think she's a really funny actress. Her character, it's like, you can tell she's a mean girl, but you can also tell that like she has a kind heart underneath her hard exterior.